OK, let's get straight into discussing the climate issues of the day tonight with lecturer in international relations at Cardiff University, Jen Allan, and Extinction Rebellion activist and co-founder of the COP26 Climate Action Plan, Chidi Oti Obihara. There they both are. And we're going to discuss the cancellation of part of the high-speed rail network today. It's provoked strong reaction, hasn't it, among those who were looking forward to faster transport links, and an efficient public transport system is crucial, of course, if the UK is to reach its emissions targets. Well, let's get the reaction of Jen first of all. The HS2 eastern leg being scrapped, it really is a blow, isn't it, to achieving a low carbon, very efficient public transport network?
Well, it depends on what happens next, because right now it's tough to see how the actions of the government actually will get us to net zero. There's only about $2 billion for walking and cycling, $7 billion for public transport. And so with this cancellation, maybe existing lines could be upgraded in a way to get people where they need to be faster and more reliably. But if that doesn't happen, then yeah, it's not going to help us hit net zero in any way.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the government's argument is, isn't it, Chidi? That actually what they can do is upgrade, spend a bit more money on the existing line rather than throwing billions at HS2.
Okay. You're absolutely right. The reversal of the beaching cuts is part of the process of what we're going through right now. But I think the challenge with trying to understand what's going on with HS2 is that we're treating transport to the north of England as though it's a problem that has to be solved, rather than looking at the opportunities that are there that we can expand on. So the cancellation that we've seen has to have a review of what the actual costs and benefits are. We don't know what the biodiversity costs of that leg were. We don't know how this changes that equation. The whole HS2 project runs on the supposition that it reduces the cost of carbon travel to 8 grams per person per mile. Now, it's 8 times that if you go by car, and it's about 20 times that if you fly. So HS2 does have benefits that it provides. Whether or not this rule change is a net cost or a net benefit is something we don't yet know.
Of course, Jen, the other argument is that if you're going to build new railway lines, that causes a huge amount of damage to the environment and to the countryside.
Yeah, and there are a few things that were a bit strange with some of the HS2 builds that was happening, like digging up an entire ecosystem and saying we can replant it and it'll be fine. We can transplant an entire ancient woodland, which doesn't have a lot of success stories out there. So, as we were saying, there's a lot of uncertainties here. So now we're dealing with things that we know. We know what the existing links are. We know how they have to be improved, but that can't really be well planned from London. So putting money into councils, into communities, they know who needs to get where people work, where people live, and where people play. They're the ones best placed to figure out efficient transit.